My name is Adam Blake. I'm 42. Firefighter, Station 19, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've seen plenty of bad days on the job, smoke-filled houses, bodies they couldn't save. But none of it prepared me for the night my wife burned my world down with 3 words. It was nothing. I met Julie 13 years ago. She was a paramedic back then, fast-talking, sharp-eyed, a damn spark in the room. We clicked fast. Married after 2 years. We tried for kids. It didn't happen. She said it was okay, we have each other. I believed her. I worked 24-hour shifts. She took a job at a trauma clinic after leaving the paramedic rotation. Our lives were hectic but steady. Or so I thought. The first crack came one Sunday night, 6 months ago. I got called out to a kitchen fire. Minor. Back home by 2 a.m. Julie wasn't in bed. Her phone wasn't on the nightstand. I found her in the living room, blanket over her lap, phone in hand, texting, face flushed. She jumped when she saw me. Couldn't sleep, she said, too fast. Her phone screen went dark as she stuffed it in the blanket. I didn't push. Maybe I should have. But it kept happening. Late nights. Secret smiles. Phone glued to her side. When I asked, "You're imagining things. I'd never cheat on you." Gaslight. I tried to believe her. I really tried. Then came the kicker. We had a joint anniversary party planned, 10 years married. Her idea. Big backyard barbecue. Friends, family, the works. I was all in. But a week before the party, I came home early from shift. Her car wasn't there. I found her phone left on the charger. Unusual. I never meant to snoop. But something in my gut screamed at me. I opened her messages. And there it was. Contact name, D. A cop. Dylan Reeves. New on patrol, 27. She met him when he brought in a shooting victim 6 months back. The texts? Can't stop thinking about last night. Wish I was in your bed now instead of his. I'm telling you, he'd never suspect a thing. The oldest line in the book. I sat there for an hour reading everything. Photos. Plans. Details of nights they'd spent together while I was on shift saving strangers. And then her last message that day. He's at work. I'll see you in an hour. I put her phone back exactly as I'd found it. And something in me clicked off. No shouting. No crying. Resolve. That night, when Julie came home, she acted normal. Kissed me like nothing was wrong. I kissed her back. Played along. Because now I had a plan. I wasn't going to scream. Wasn't going to beg. I was going to end her mask in the most brutal, public, unforgettable way possible. First step? Evidence. I called my buddy Nate, who ran a small side business installing security systems, unofficially, no questions asked. He owed me from a fire we'd pulled him out of 3 years ago. I explained the situation. He didn't blink. Give me 2 days. By the end of that week, I had cameras installed. One in the living room. One in the upstairs hallway. One in the guest bedroom, which, according to her texts, was where they sometimes met. Everything motion triggered. Synced to a cloud account I controlled. The second step was timing. I let her think I was still blind. Worked my shifts. Came home smiling. Held her hand in public. Meanwhile, the cameras rolled. And 2 weeks later, I caught them. Clear as day. Dylan's patrol car parked down the block. She thought that was clever. Him slipping through the back door, her pulling him into the guest room. Their voices, their moans, their whispered promises, all recorded. I watched the footage once. Then I downloaded it. Clipped it into a clean, undeniable package. Now came the final piece. The party. Our 10-year anniversary. Everyone coming, her parents, mine, her work friends, the guys from my station. She was giddy about it. Everyone will see how strong we are together, she told me. She had no idea what was coming. The night before the party, I sat alone in the garage looking at my old firefighter helmet. The one with the smoke stains and melted visor edges. That helmet had been through hell like me. But it still stood. So would I. The morning of the party, Julie was a whirlwind of excitement. She baked. Decorated. Sent me to pick up extra ice and beer. Kept hugging me from behind as I stood at the grill prepping steaks. It was all an act. I watched her now the way a hunter watches prey. Not a flicker of guilt in her eyes. She really thought she'd gotten away with it. I had one thing left to prepare. While she set up in the backyard, I snuck back into the garage. There, on my old workbench, sat a laptop and a small Bluetooth projector I borrowed from the firehouse. I loaded the video package Nate had helped me assemble, clean, time-stamped clips from the cameras. It was all there. Dylan entering the house. The guest room door closing. The sounds. The faces. The lies. I tested the projector. Perfect. Then I tucked it all into a box labeled slideshow so Julie wouldn't question it. By 5 p.m., the backyard was packed. Tables full of friends. Family laughing. My crew from Station 19 tossing core whole bags and drinking cheap beer. Julie looked radiant, summer dress, big smile, glowing with the joy of fooling everyone. She leaned in during dinner. "I love you so much," she whispered. I kissed her cheek. "You'll always remember tonight," I said. She grinned, oblivious. At 7 p.m. sharp, she stood up to give her toast. Everyone gathered. "I just want to say how grateful I am to have such an amazing husband and to share this night with all of you," she said. "Marriage isn't always easy, but trust and love are everything." The irony almost made me laugh out loud. She held up her glass. "To 10 more years." Everyone cheered. I stood next. "Before we toast, I put together a little video," I said, voice steady. "Some memories from the past year. I hope you all enjoy it." Julie clapped. "Oh, you're so sweet." I connected the projector. Full screen. Loud. Unmissable. The first few clips were innocent photos of us on hikes, at dinners, smiling. Julie beamed. Then the screen went black. The first security clip loaded. Dylan entering the house. The room fell silent. Julie's smile faltered. Whispers began. "Wait, what is this?" Next clip, them kissing in the hallway. Next, the guest room door shutting. The sounds. Someone gasped. Julie's face drained of color. "Stop it. Adam, stop it right now," she shrieked. I let it run 30 seconds more. Then paused on the freeze frame, Dylan and Julie locked together, time-stamped. I turned to the crowd. "I love this woman. I would have given her anything. But this is what she gave me in return. To those of you who came here thinking we were something we're not, now you know." I looked straight at her. "Julie, this is your truth. You wanted 10 more years? You won't get 10 more minutes with me." And I walked off the deck. Behind me, chaos erupted. Her mother sobbed. Her father shouted. Station 19 guys stared in disbelief. And Julie? Screaming my name. Chasing after me barefoot through the grass. "Adam, please. We can fix this. Please, please." I stopped at the gate. Turned once. "You lit this fire. You can burn in it." And I left. I didn't go home. I drove straight to Nate's place. He handed me a cold beer. "You okay?" I took a long drink. "Better than I've been in months." Later that night, I checked my phone. 30 missed calls. Dozens of texts. All from Julie. "I love you. I'm sorry. It didn't mean anything. Please don't do this." The last one? "Everyone hates me now. I can't show my face. Please, Adam. Please." I deleted them all. By morning, her affair was the only topic in every local first responder chat group. The video? Someone had recorded it on their phone. It was already being passed around. Dylan's captain saw it. He was suspended pending review. Julie's world was in freefall. And me? I'd barely started. Because public shame was step 1. Now it was time for step 2, taking back everything else. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't need to. Sometimes after a hard call, a fatal fire, a rescue gone bad, your body hums too hard for rest. That's what it felt like. Not rage. Not grief. Control. By dawn, the video was everywhere. Someone from Station 19 had sent it to a cop buddy, and from there, it spread like wildfire through Harrisburg's first responder circles. By noon, it had hit Facebook. Then TikTok. Then a local gossip blog. Firefighter's wife exposed during anniversary party. Classy. I didn't post it. Didn't need to. Truth spreads faster when it's accidental. People trust what they think they weren't supposed to see. Around noon, my lawyer called. "Got the paperwork ready. We can file today." "Do it," I said. "And Adam, we can pursue fault-based divorce with this evidence. You can come out of this very well." I smiled. That's the plan. Meanwhile, Julie was unraveling. More texts. Voicemails. Emails. "I'm losing everything. You've ruined me." I hadn't ruined her. She'd done that all on her own. I just handed her the match. But I wasn't done. There was one more piece I needed to lock in, her image at the clinic. Julie's job wasn't just a paycheck. It was her pride. She always bragged about being the trusted face of her trauma unit. Her Instagram was full of motivational quotes about trust, loyalty, dedication, hypocrisy, and high heels. I forwarded the video with a polite anonymous cover note to her clinic's HR department. Didn't sign my name. Didn't need to. Within 2 days, the hospital suspended her pending internal review. Not fired. Yet. But word spreads fast in medical circles. No one wants a paramedic who can't be trusted with her own vows. Meanwhile, Dylan was already toast. He'd been pulled off patrol. Internal Affairs had opened an inquiry not just for the affair, but for conduct unbecoming an officer. Turns out some of the footage showed him in partial uniform. Big no-no. I stayed quiet. Didn't respond to any of Julie's attempts. Didn't post online. Didn't explain myself to anyone who asked. The more you stay silent, the more the story speaks for itself. One night, about a week after the party, there was a knock at my door. I opened it. Julie. No makeup. Hair mess. Eyes swollen from crying. She looked half the person she pretended to be. Please, Adam? Just talk to me. I didn't invite her in. I've said what needed saying. She stepped forward, voice breaking. I lost my job. Dylan's gone. My parents won't speak to me. You've destroyed my life. I stared at her. No. You destroyed your life. I just made sure everyone saw what you did. She started crying harder. I loved you. I was stupid. Please, can't we fix this somehow? I shook my head. There's no fixing betrayal. You buried this marriage. I just held up the headstone. Then I closed the door. She stood outside for 5 minutes. I didn't move. Didn't look through the window. Finally heard her car pull away. I exhaled. It wasn't triumph I felt. It was peace. By the end of that month, the divorce was filed. The house title was transferred to me. Joint accounts were locked. Julie had no legal footing left. Her clinic contract was terminated by mutual agreement. She was blacklisted from 2 other local hospitals already. Dylan had resigned before he could be formally fired. Both of them were now out socially, professionally, personally. And me? I kept going. Took extra shifts at the station. Helped new recruits with drills. Ran 3 miles a day. Some guys asked why I wasn't more bitter. Because bitterness is a cage, I told them. And I just broke out of one. There was one last message from Julie. A single email. I know you'll never forgive me. But I hope someday you can be happy again. I wish I could undo what I did. I'll never forget the look in your eyes that night. I read it once. Then deleted it. Forgiveness? That wasn't the goal. Freedom was. And every day I woke up alone in that house, my house, was another day I knew I'd won. But one final piece of closure still remained. Something I needed to do, not for revenge, but for me. A way to write the last line of this story in my own hand. And that part? Was coming soon. I was free. Legally, financially, physically, I had reclaimed my life. But part of me still felt the itch of unfinished business. Not with Julie, she'd already watched her world implode. No, the last piece was my own story. For months, I had been the silent party in everyone else's version of events. The guy whose wife cheated. The guy whose marriage blew up on camera. I needed to speak once. Publicly. Not to wallow. Not to vent. But to close the book. One night after shift, I drove out to a quiet corner of a local trail. Brought my phone, set it on a tripod. And I spoke. 5 minutes. No edits. No theatrics. Just me. I told the truth. About love. About trust. About betrayal that grows like mold in the dark. About choosing dignity when others choose deceit. I ended with this. If someone lies to you, you don't owe them silence. You don't owe them protection. You owe yourself truth and freedom. Speak it. Stand tall. And walk forward. I uploaded it. Private link. Sent only to close friends. Didn't need it to go viral. I just needed it out of my head and into the world.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience. But we really need your support, namely a subscription to the channel, which can make it possible to hire a professional voice actor and make the best content for you.
Funny thing? It spread anyway. Friends shared it. Firefighters passed it to other stations. Medics passed it through hospital circles. Within a week, it had 50,000 views. Messages started coming in. Man, I needed to hear this. My ex did the same. I thought I was alone. Thank you for standing up with class. Julie saw it too. How do I know? Because her sister, who had quietly supported me through the divorce, texted. She watched it 4 times. She cried through the whole thing. She said it was worse than the party. That was never my goal. But I won't pretend it didn't feel like justice. Because this wasn't just revenge. It was truth living and breathing where lies used to hide. Meanwhile, my life kept growing. I moved forward one deliberate choice at a time. New furniture. New habits. New routines. The guest room where they betrayed me became a small home gym. No ghosts left in that space. I also started seeing someone. Slowly. Her name was Natalie, a nurse from the burn unit. Smart, funny, with eyes that didn't dart around like they were guarding secrets. She knew my story. I didn't hide it. One night, as we walked along the river, she said, "You're not bitter. That's rare." I smiled. I was. For about 2 days. Then I decided bitterness wasn't worth one more minute of my life. She squeezed my hand. Good. Because you're worth more than what she did. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't living to prove anything to Julie. I was living because I still had a damn good life to live. Around the time the divorce finalized completely, my lawyer called. It's done. Clean. You kept everything you wanted. No alimony. You're free, Adam. I drove to my favorite lookout spot that night. Parked. Watched the city lights flicker below. Breathed deep. And said out loud to no one but the stars. I made it through the fire. And I meant it. Julie never reached out again after the video. Smart choice. Her family distanced themselves. Her professional circle moved on. From what I heard, she was living with a friend working part-time somewhere out of the public eye. Her new life was small. Mine was wide open. Some nights I still think about how close I came to letting it all crush me. But I didn't. Because when the flames rose, I didn't just survive. I became fireproof. And the sweetest revenge wasn't the party. Wasn't the HR takedown. Wasn't the video. It was this. Every morning, I wake up knowing I'm a man who faced betrayal and stood taller on the other side. While she wakes knowing she burned the only bridge that mattered. But there was one final thing I needed to do, one small act to mark the true end of it all. And soon I'd light that match. Life after betrayal is like a house after a fire. At first you see only what was burned. But then you start noticing what survived and what you're better off without. That was where I was. No more bitterness. No more anger. But one last ember still smoldered. I kept thinking about the party. That crowd of friends and family watching as the truth unfolded. Some had reached out since. Some stayed silent. But one group, her closest friends, had done worse. They'd circled the wagons afterward. Claimed I was cruel. That going public was petty. That Julie had been driven to cheat because I worked too much. Victim spin. I ignored it for a while. But part of me couldn't leave the story half-told. Because those women were now the ones whispering in news circles, painting Julie as some poor abandoned wife. I didn't want revenge on them. I wanted to erase the lies they were telling. And I knew exactly how. I still had the full footage, more than what I'd shown at the party. Raw audio, full dates, context, including a phone call between Julie and one of those very same friends caught by my hallway camera mic. Julie laughing. If he finds out, I'll just cry. He always forgives me. He's so easy to work. That line? It mattered. Because one of the friends spreading the new narrative was the voice on the other end of that call. I clipped the relevant section. Kept it short, undeniable. Added a polite title card. Before you tell my story, know the whole one. Then I sent it privately to just the right places. The other half of the friend group. Julie's extended family. A few of the vendors still working in her old circles. No public blast. Just the truth finding its way into the cracks. Within days, I saw the shift. One of her so-called defenders posted a sudden, cryptic status about learning the whole truth. Another unfollowed her completely. Word came back through a mutual. She's imploding. Her own friends are turning now. That video broke what little trust she had left. I didn't smile. Didn't cheer. I just exhaled. Because now the whole picture was out. Not just what she did, but who she was when she thought no one was watching. That was my last match. No more messages. No more moves. I archived all the footage. Deleted the cloud backups. Left one hard copy locked in my safe, not for use. Just a reminder. Natalie noticed the change in me. One night over dinner, she said. You seem lighter. What changed? I looked at her. I'm done fighting ghosts. The house is clean now. She reached across the table, took my hand. Good. Because life's too short to keep carrying ashes. Weeks passed. Then months. I heard Julie moved to another city. New apartment. Low-profile job. No social media. No posts. Her legend had finally collapsed under its own weight. And me? I kept living. Running, working, building new memories that had no trace of her in them. One evening, a package showed up at my door. No name. No note. Inside, my old wedding ring. And a single Polaroid us on our honeymoon years ago. A final attempt at what, guilt? Redemption? Nostalgia? I stared at it. Then dropped it into the fire pit out back. Watched it curl and blacken until it was nothing but smoke. Some flames destroy. Some cleanse. This one did both. Now, when I sit on my porch in the quiet Pennsylvania nights, I know this. I lost a marriage. I found myself. I lost a liar. I gained a life. And in the end, no public revenge is sweeter than private peace. But there's one more chapter to this story. Not about Julie. About me. About what comes next. And it's a damn good chapter. A year passed. 1 full year since the party. Since the cameras. Since the world saw the truth. Sometimes it still felt strange how fast everything had changed. But most days it felt right. Because survival isn't about going back to what was. It's about building what should have been all along. I didn't hate Julie. Not anymore. Hate is a tether and I had cut every last one. I simply didn't care anymore. And in that indifference I found a freedom I'd never known. Natalie became a bigger part of my life, slowly, carefully. She never tried to replace anything. She simply walked beside me as I rebuilt. One night, we sat on the back porch, bourbon in hand, watching the last of the summer fireflies. She asked, "Do you ever think about her anymore?" I thought about it. Sometimes. But not with anger. Just as a lesson I'll never forget. She nodded. "Good. Because you're a damn good man, Adam. The way you handled all of it, most people would have burned their own hands trying to burn her world." I smiled. I didn't need to light the fire. I just let the truth burn on its own. By the time the divorce was a year in the past, most people in my circle barely mentioned it. Those who mattered had seen my side of things. Those who didn't, I didn't need in my life. I traded a broken marriage for an unbreakable self. That's a deal I'd make every time. Around that anniversary mark, Station 19 hosted a department-wide seminar on emotional resilience in first responders. I was asked to speak. Not about the job. About life. About surviving personal fires. I told my story clean, honest, direct. No gory details. Just the truth of what betrayal can do and how dignity is your best extinguisher. Afterward, an older captain, 25 years on the job, pulled me aside. "You know, kid, I've seen a lot of guys go dark after something like that. You? You came through it brighter." That mattered more than I could say. Because scars don't define you. They remind you that you healed. Julie? She stayed gone. I heard little things through the grapevine. New job in a smaller town. Keeps her head down. Single. She'll live with her choices. That's her road to walk, not mine to watch. As for Dylan? No badge anymore. Rumor was he'd moved 2 states over. Doesn't matter. The men who betray without honor never outrun their own reflection. And me? I started coaching youth fire cadets on weekends. Helping the next generation of kids learn not just how to face flames, but how to face life when it burns unexpectedly. One of the cadets, 15 years old, bright kid, asked me once, "What's the hardest thing you've ever done?" I thought about it. Not a rescue. Not a fire. Walking away from someone who no longer respected me without losing who I was in the process. He nodded. Didn't fully understand yet, but one day he would. Now, my house is truly mine. New memories in every room. The guest room gym? I hit it 5 days a week. The porch swing? Natalie and I built it together. Every nail we drove into the frame felt like one more piece of life rebuilt with my own 2 hands. Sometimes when I watch the sun set behind the Harrisburg skyline, bourbon in hand, I whisper one line to myself. I made it through the fire. Not just made it. I walked out standing. If you take anything from my story, let it be this. When someone betrays you, you'll feel the urge to burn their world down. Don't. Let truth do the work. Because the sweetest revenge isn't watching them fall. It's standing so tall on the other side that they have to look up just to see you walk away. And I'll be walking tall every day from here on out.